Friday, I know you said you hadn't had a lot of time to do stuff. But
Mostly it's just meeting people and greeting people, and we went to the Civic Center on the hill, the Williams Center there, and looked at it to see what kind of security they would need up there. It depends on what venue is going on, I think, down there on the floor. And too, parking when everybody leaves is going to be a big issue. I think the 4th of July they had all kinds of problems, so we're going up with a couple of men here right before the first show they had. Basically, some of the things have changed. One of the doors to the radio ring, it led out into the police station. So, it was kind of an inconvenience to punch it all the time if you had paperwork or something going in to see the dispatcher. I've opened up the place a little bit. Eating policy. None of the men were allowed to eat with another one unless they came here to the police station. I don't care if 2 or 3 of them eat together. They won't be in there 30 minutes, and they'll probably be one out here anyway. They'll answer calls. Our prisoner relay. If Laurel County sent a warrant down, or Knox County, that person was arrested. If Laurel or Knox didn't have an officer to come and get that prisoner, they would take them to Williamsburg. So we've revamped that to where, why not just take them to the county of where the warrant's been initially issued. Policy on someone riding with them. If you guys want to come out and ride one day or one afternoon, I have no problem with that. Other agencies can ride with them if they want. They can ride with other agencies. The fire department, there was some type of rift between here and the fire department. Doors were locked in between. I talked to the fire chief Friday, and I'm going to talk to him in the morning. His people are welcome over here, and I hope mine would be welcome over there in the fire department. Also, I talked to the men about doing walkthroughs on the schools we have now, and I'd like to do it to see where the doors are, to see how the hall and the rooms are laid out in case we have to go, to see what the walls are made out of in case you have to choose what weapon that you take into the school. There's a lot of variables there that it's an equation that there's a lot goes into it. And like I say, I hope we never have it, but I think every little town that has problems, they didn't think they'd ever have problems there. We need some equipment, computers. We need some printers. If you drive, you'll go home, and your wife, girlfriend, whatever, let's go eat tonight. Let's go to a movie. Well, I'm tired. Well, you just drove around and did paperwork today. Why are you tired? I'd like to later on down the road, and it's going to be highly restrictive, but the spouse can come down here, ride around with her husband for a few hours. There'll always be 2 other units out besides the one during the ride. Let them see what they go through during a typical day. No pursuit, no subject with a weapon of any kind, no felony stops. Just they can drive by and see what's going on. These men are out here working, and they need to have a prisoner relayed. I see no reason for them to leave if it's a crime scene, especially. One of the sergeants, the lieutenants, one of the captains, the major, or myself can go relay a prisoner. I don't care a bit to climb one of those cars and take a fellow to Williamsburg, London, or Barberville. And going back to making this place more visible, it's over the years, for whatever, and I'm sure security was the main reason, it's isolated itself here. It's coming in down there in the front. You're greeted by a box talking to you instead of a face. I think that's important, contact. We're going to start here when things settle down a little bit, walking downtown, myself and one of my officers. And we're going to go into these different businesses and talk to these merchants. What are your problems? What do you need? We're your police department. And then later on, it's going to take some time, but I like to hit some of the city streets and go to individual residents and do the same thing. Nobody's ever done that. You could probably go downtown right now and ask somebody, can you name 3 policemen here at Corbett? And they wouldn't be able to. Public relations, you have to have it. Things going pretty good. I think everybody's been real receptive. of the changes, the small ones that, you know, that we've done, but the people I've met, like I say, everyone's been really nice. And I don't know if it's condolences or congratulations there for a while, but it's just going to take time. I mean, it's the problems we have here didn't occur overnight, and it's going to take a little while to fix them. But like I said the other day, I will fix them. Well, our problem is money. We don't have the cash flow that the state police, or of course you're like HIDA, Unite. But what I've had some officers, they're really positive about going out there and wanting to do it. And I told them, go ahead, they're trying to set some stuff up. But again, our problem, buy money, informant outlay, we just don't have it to give out like the state does. You know, people, they'll call in and say, well, I've got a fella down the street, we know they're selling drugs. And I said, well, we'll do what we can. It may take a little while, but I did. Also, I was working with Special Investigations Unit. It was Drug Enforcement Special Investigations. So I'm experienced to some extent on white-collar crime. If we weren't working undercover, we would go ahead and work. I had the infamous Pineville Waterline case, the Macomb Supply, the big mining supply store there in Harlan. They had some theft, internal theft, and finally I think it closed them down. The Pineville Waterline case was it just went in every direction. Like I say, I don't know how long I'll be here. It just depends if the men want to keep me on, the people here in town. Right now, I don't have an agenda of how long I'll be here. But I like to stay a while. I like to help them get on their feet and get a good proactive department here. They've got the men, they just need a little bit of help.
Do you plan to apply?
Mm-hmm. I've got an application idling right now, so we'll see. But like I say, it's going to be intern for a little while to see how things turn out here. But so far, everybody's been positive. Everybody's been receptive to the changes, to meeting me. And like I said the other day, I'll be as transparent as possible in the transition coming in here. I talked to one of the officers yesterday. He's been here 8 years, and yesterday was the second time he's ever been in this office. So I've opened it up and I've turned them loose. So, the opportunity presented itself. You know, 2 or 3 people asked me, you know, why do you want to do that? But it's like I said, I grew up here, it's my town. I enjoy police work. It's hard to walk away from that. Really hard.